Welcome back. Thank you for listening. So I wanted to talk about, I was at a meeting not too long ago, and I wanted to talk about depth and what that means in building an organization. So the first thing I never thought I would really think of is a sentence I heard somebody say that was basically meaning the person you're looking for is not necessarily the person you're looking at. What does that mean? It means you might hire a person and you might think you're building your organization, you're training somebody. You might hire somebody and you might not think, like you might spend a lot of energy and a lot of time with that person, but that might not be the person that you're looking for. That might not be the person that helps the organization double in numbers. What do I do though? Because in a world of sales or in a world of the world we live in of fast pace, we want to get rid of underperforming people super quickly. But sometimes a person that's decently or mediocre, maybe a mediocre performer, sometimes can lead into somebody because you are able to take care of them. You have a good enough training that the person can produce okay. You can keep that person around, and more than likely they can hire somebody. This is uncommon, but they can sometimes hire somebody if they have good character that is above their level. So what do I mean? I'm a B, and normally if I'm a B, I'm not going to hire anybody that's better than a B. No, I'm not going to hire a B plus or an A because I'm a B. But once in a blue moon, it does happen to where a B hires an A plus. And you don't want to get rid of that B because, again, you're looking at them and not necessarily as the person you're looking for. And what I've seen is sometimes you hire somebody, you spend all this energy and all this time with them, but if you take care of them properly and whatever, sometimes they can lead into somebody that leads into somebody. It could be 2, 3, 4 levels in depth, typically at least 4 until you actually find somebody. So if you keep driving that organization and person hires a person that hires a person, it'll probably take you 3 or 4 times doing that until you find a person that's actually going to naturally grow and do it on their own, naturally go and build a team and do all the things proactively and be an A plus player. Same way that as you're hiring people personally, the first, the second, the third one, they might not be the best, but after you do it enough times, the third or fourth or fifth time, you typically find a winner. And I think that happens also when you're training and you're going, delegating and delegating and delegating. I think it's very important to look at not just the person that it's right in front of you, your first generation person, your original trainee, but to look at, hey, what did that person bring to the table? Who do they know? What are they bringing that I can't bring? Who are they attracting that I might not attract? And sometimes that's the person you're looking for. And I think it works both ways when you're hiring personally people or when you're driving an organization bigger. And I think it also creates a lot of stability. And when you have a person that is growing proactively 3 or 4 levels in depth, it kind of almost makes everybody that's in between you and that person not only stay, but stabilize. It starts creating what we call like a firewall to where if turnover happens, if negatives or confusion get underneath in all that group of people, it's a lot harder to, blow up that wall because there's so much depth in the organization. I think it's a key thing. I think every organization grows similar to that. And in the first organization growing so big becomes what we call a taproot. And if you think about what a taproot is, and it just nurtures and flows water and nutrients and growth to the rest of the tree when the winter's there or when the tree needs it the most. And I think it works the same way in business. When you're building an organization and you grow, sometimes you just got to keep feeding that one leader, that one leg, that one person that keeps going 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 levels down in depth. And it creates, it might not look perfect because you might want to have a lot of legs, but it might be the taproot that feeds later to the rest of the organization. So I have, in my experience, this happened to me with this guy called Aaron, who was one of the first people I promoted out and I trained and I got the opportunity to work with. And Aaron and I were friends for the first couple of years. We didn't grow much, especially me. After a couple of years, I started growing more and he didn't grow at all. And then 2 years after that, I hit like a spike in growth and he started catching on. And now the biggest organization, if I have about 50 people in our organization, probably almost 40% of that, and it's very healthy outside of him, but almost the majority of it, especially on the beginning stages, the majority of the growth was coming through Aaron and Aaron's people, and I was working all along all those people. And now I see like an unstoppable growth where there's people proactively taking action, people that I have never met that are growing our organization without any of my engagement, because there's so many leaders between me and that person. There's sometimes 3 and 4 top leaders that are in between that person that's 5 or 6 levels in depth. And I can appreciate that so much because I would say, sure, I deserve it, but I haven't put any personal hours or as much work as I have in the rest of the organization with that one, but it does feed and help everybody else. So if you're building a team, you're building an organization, don't deny the person that could be, again, the person you're looking for might not be who you're looking at. Let them grow, give them grace, let them be at their own pace, as long as it doesn't affect the culture negatively. Let the person grow at their own pace, because they might lead to somebody. That might lead to somebody. And if that goes 3 to 4, you're going to find a leader. If that goes 10 to 12, you're going to find the taproot, which means that when there's a crazy bad winter for door to door, or when there's a bad season in general, the taproot will always feed the rest of your office locally, the rest of your company, the rest of your organization. And I think it's a really interesting thing. And sometimes we deny it so much because we're so focused on the newest person, which is a good thing to do. We're focused on the new. But you don't want to forget about Aaron. That's been there from the first day. That was one of the first people there. And the seniority that involves, and seniority is an ugly word for sales, but just the respect and the time that the person's been around, you don't want to deny that, because sometimes they're going to help when you need it the most, flow and grow the rest of the organization. So I wanted to give you some quick thoughts on depth and hiring second, third, fourth. You might see me working with somebody directly that's 9 levels underneath me, and I am skipping everyone in between and I'm going straight to that person because I want to stabilize that team. I found a leader and I want that proactive person to have my mindset, and I'm going to relieve the pressure from all the people in between, that they don't have to do anything. I'm going to basically go in there and grow for them. So it's a win-win for everybody, and it's going to create a firewall. It's going to create stability in my business for when I hire new people, I can connect them with that group, and it's going to get everybody else excited in between me and that person to grow. There's opportunities all around it. So I would recommend, hey, how much are you taking care of your depth? Depth is based on relationships, and hiring people, personal first-gen people, that's based on being aggressive and just working. Depth is based on relationships. How much can I get down there? How much can I leverage my credibility, or how much can I leverage what I have? How much time can I invest? How many spouses am I going to meet? How many parents am I going to, sit down with? How many foreheads I'm kissing? It's really just relationships down in that. And I really think that people don't strategically think about this. Therefore, organizations are always kind of like, if there's a bad season, it affects the whole tree, and the whole tree moves because there's no taproot. Hopefully you got something out of it.